You got it?
Sure, why not? That was awesome. I got lost like 5 times in that thing.
So did I.
What's up, everybody? This is Isaac. We're back here at the shack with one of mine, Sammy's guitar heroes since back in the day, since the day we first met him, Mr. Kenny Fraizer. How's it going, Mr. Fraizer?
Doing good, doing good.
As old as you know, I'm already 46 years old, and I'm still going to call you Mr. Fraizer.
Well, Ken is fine. I answer to both.
I guess you were talking a while ago. You're still gigging.
Still gigging.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, I hope to. I hope to do. You know, everything you do. You're a good person to follow. You know, actually an awesome person to follow. We talk about you all the time, and you know, and we also talk about the book you wrote. That was one of the. If you're a guitar player, that's the book to get. I've gotten it like at least 3 or 4 times that I know of. And this buddy of mine, Mario, I got the last one. And actually, I went to MCC. I said, I'm gonna go give me another book, Mr. Fraizer, and I couldn't find that school that I went to. It's changed so much. But anyway, that book meant so much to me.
Thank you. I reprinted that book.
Really?
Yeah. My son Blake, who you worked with,
right?
is a draftsman in Houston.
Okay.
And he had some slack time, and I handed him my old book, and I said, "Can you redo this?" And he did.
Wow.
And it looks great. It
Really?
really does.
And that book, like I said, it meant to so much to so many guitar players because, you know, especially the guys that you know, because I grew up playing guitar out of my, you know, just for what I learned out of my, you know, playing with my ear. I had no idea what was going on until I got a hold of that book. It's like, oh, now I get it. And then plus, not to mention, you taught us so much. Of course, the Nashville number system, all that stuff helped us so much in life. You know, actually, even in Nashville when I lived there. But you know, just all that stuff you taught us that most places you go to get guitar lessons wouldn't teach you that. They teach you how to do, you know, something that's not even cool. But the fact that you did it until where you made it cool, that meant so much to us.
Well, the problem is not everybody has the same image of music. To some, music is a lot of distortion and a lot of fast notes.
Right, right.
To other people, like yourself,
Right.
the blues is the thing, and the blues bass is always prevalent in what we do as
Right.
far as the old standards and
Oh,
the
yeah.
jazz thing. But you know, not everybody has the same concept of music, so I think you have to reach your own thing, like you've done the blues.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's great. I
Also,
really think
also, and when I was at MCC, not to cut you off, but as soon as I left MCC, I left to be in a working band, but it was in the band I never thought, which was Tejano. And in Tejano, you know, you got two styles, you know, just many styles, but two of them, which is the 1-4-5 conjunto, which I love so much. But the other, like the Little Joe style, that was all stuff that we learned in strings. It was all the jazz chords, and so, you know, it was, and it's like, well, I'm walking in here, you know, actually, you know, not. Sam and I from a small town, we don't get Tejano music, and you know, it's just, you know, but so as soon as I started getting it, we loved it, and we had no idea how complex it was.
Oh yes.
But MCC, and of course you in particular, made it to where like now we're at least not going in blind, and that helped us so much. You know.
Well, I'm glad that I happened to make a little bit of a mark on you and some of the other guys. Of course, Sammy Kalongo over here, he's one of the premier guitar players, and so are you.
Thank you. We talk shop all the time. Whenever we talk shop, your name comes up almost every time.
It always goes back to that.
Well, thank you again. That's great. I'm glad that you guys are carrying this forward. You know, I'm 78 years old, and I don't have a lot of time left to do this, but I want to keep this music alive.
Oh, for sure. And here in Central Texas, boy, you're a big part of it.
Well, I taught. Well, they had a memorial service. No, they had a deal for me out at MCC a while back, and John Fox put together a guitar ensemble like we used to have.
Oh, yes, sir.
And he wrote arrangements for that thing, and it was just fantastic. And the place was running over, and but you know, he did some of my favorite tunes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he took some of my favorite tunes and wrote them for guitar ensemble.
Which were what tunes?
He did Polka Dots and Moonbeams. He did All of Me. He did what's the name of that one? The one we did today. Sammy?
Is it Smoke Gets in Your Eye?
No, no.
Sentinel?
No,
Autumn Leaves?
the other one. The one I gave you to work on today. What was the name of that thing? You are the precious of the sun.
Why are those tunes like some of your favorites? It's just some that like as far as playing them, hearing them, listening to them?
Yeah. I don't listen much to music anymore.
I hear you. Same here.
But that particular song, it's always been a favorite of mine because it has so many chords in it. I mean, it
Right.
is just it's heavily laden with chords. And a friend of mine and I went to New York City. Bob Lott, he was the editor of the Waco Tribune Herald for 20 some odd years. And since he's retired, we've gotten to be very good friends. So the two families went to New York together. And so we walk into Manny's, which is one of the big guitar houses in New York. And we kind of kneel down and 59. I don't know whether anybody remembers the song Party Doll.
Yeah, yeah.
And we traveled with him for a year. It was just about exactly a year because we went out on New Year's day after New Year's and got back on New Year's Eve.
Was it
the
jazz
next year.
or?
No, it was rock and
Right,
roll.
okay.
It was rock and roll. And but it was more country rock, I guess you'd call it.
Like a rockabilly.
Rockabilly. That's
Okay.
exactly what it was. It was rockabilly. And so we stayed out on the road with him for a year. And he married a little old gal from Macon, Georgia.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was 21.
Okay,
Well,
so
I turned 21 on the road.
Okay.
I remember that very well because I went to a liquor store in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and bought a whole case of silver satin wine.
Why not?
Whoa! I'll tell you what, the old boy blew and blew and blew the dust off of that thing and wiped it down. And I took the whole case back to the room and we lit in on it.
Right.
And there was another band called the Downbeats that were there with us.
Okay.
And Donnie, I can't think of his last name, but his grandfather owned a music store in Dallas.
Okay.
Anyway, so we all proceeded to get pretty out on it. And so we knew Donnie had to leave the next day, so we put him in the back of the station wagon, their station wagon,
So we have
crossed
to
his
miss-
arms, and put a bottle of silver satin wine there for him to get better on.
Did he get better?
Well, the thing of it was, we didn't realize that they were moving. I mean, they weren't going out until like 2:30 in the afternoon, and we put him in there about midnight and closed all the doors.
Right. Wow.
And it was August.
Oh my God.
He woke up. We almost killed that poor kid.
Man, oh man. But that's the fun stuff about going on the road.
Yeah,
that right there.
We used to have a lot of fun on the road.
So the fella you played for, was he from Central Texas as well? Or?
He was from a place called Canyon, Texas.
Oh,
up
that's right.
in the
Okay.
Panhandle.
Okay. So how'd you wind up getting that gig like that?
Well, Johnny Smith, bass player here in town, was working with Sonny James.
Okay.
And Sonny James left the road, and Buddy was traveling with him, and Buddy said, "Do you want to just stay on and play bass for me?" And he said, "Yeah." So they had two guys. They had a drummer and a guitar player, and so they left. And he called me, or actually, we played a job together on New Year's Eve night out at Conley Air Force Base. And he
Okay.
asked me as we were getting off the bandstand, he said, "I'm looking for a guitar player to go on the road." And I said, "Well, how long are you going to be gone?" And he said, "Oh, a couple of months." And I said, "Sure, I'll go."
Now, what? I love that. I love that. What was your rig? What was your rig like? What were you playing through?
I was playing through two of those black front Fender Pro amps.
Wow.
And so we hired Tom Prisk. I don't know whether you know Tom. Or
I don't know. I don't.
He's a heck of a drummer. He's probably the best drummer I've ever worked with.
Out of McLennan County?
Yeah, he's Waco.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So all three of us Waco guys took off
Man, I love
and
that.
went up there, and we had a couple of weeks on a sit-down job to get ready.
Okay.
And we found out that we probably needed a saxophone.
Okay.
So we called Jackie Fletcher. I don't know whether you remember Jackie Fletcher or not.
I don't. No, I don't.
Well, saxophone player that I took out of the Imperial Theater when he was one of the ushers there
Okay.
and ruined him.
I'm sure you had a good time. I'm sure you had a good time at the same time. So.
We went to work with Galen Christie
Okay.
out of Temple, and we stayed together for about 10, 12 years, I guess.
How did the Buddy Holly gig come about?
The Buddy Knox, you mean?
Yeah, Buddy Knox.
Holly. That night that we got off of the New Year's Eve job,
Right.
Johnny Smith, the bass player, said, "We're going out on tour with Buddy Knox
Okay.
tomorrow. Do you want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll go." So we took off, and we did not get home for 1 full year.
Wow, that's hardcore.
We were gone for 1 year.
I don't know if I can handle that. That's
We
rough.
traveled all over this country. We traveled. I think we hit all but. See, Alaska wasn't a state back then, I don't think. But we hit all but Maine and New Hampshire and
Wow.
those places up there. We got as far as New York City, and then came down. We played Philadelphia, and we played all up.
And what year was this?
1959.
What were the PA systems like back then?
Almost nothing.
Like,
Usually, we didn't even carry a PA.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, the person that had the club or whatever did the PA set.
Okay.
They furnished the PA and set it up and everything. I mean,
Okay,
we
okay.
walked in and unloaded our gear, got it tuned up, and we were ready to go.
What guitar were you playing then?
I was playing a Gibson 125.
I don't even know what that even looks like. I'm sure it's a hollow body, right?
It was a hollow body, and it was it was no cutaway.
Okay. I guess in the pickup at the neck.
Yeah, pick
Okay.
up right at the neck.
Okay. How about the low end feedback? Were you able to control that?
Oh yeah, we got that handled pretty well.
Well, okay. I always want, because I owned a
You are
hollow body.
an engineer and you're a hollow
Yes,
body
sir.
player.
For
and
sure.
so
Yeah,
you
and I know it isn't the struggle. I struggle.
Were you already playing jazz at that time?
I had started. I was listening to Barney Kessel. I started listening to Barney Kessel when I was 15 years old. I fell in love with him and his style, and there was nobody.
How'd you get to hear about him here in Waco? I mean, is it radio or
no? Somebody gave me an album.
Okay.
He said, "Listen to this," and boy, that was the ruination right there. That's when I became enamored with all the big chords. If you ever listen to Barney Kessel is one that sounds like an orchestra by himself.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check him out.
Yeah, check
You know,
him out.
that's what's awesome about modern technology and stuff like YouTube. You have everything you want, as far as like listening to or learning from right there. We didn't
Right
have
there.
that as kids. We got
Right.
whatever you got in the radio is what you got, unless you were fortunate enough to get albums.
Right.
What was your I guess who was your first like, what was the reason why you started playing guitar? Was it like hearing a band or somebody at church or somebody in town? Or
That's a funny story. I was about 5 years old, and I went over to my aunt's house,
Right.
my mother and daddy. We were just visiting, and I just started digging through the closet, and I found this old Stella guitar. And the strings were about
oh yeah,
an inch or so
I got
above,
you,
above
right.
the fingerboard. And I fell in love with that guitar. I drug it around and I banged on that thing and I banged on it and I banged on it. And finally, my daddy asked my aunt, said, "How much you take for that?" And she said, "Oh, $3. So he gave her $3 and I
Right.
took it home. And I banged on it and banged on it. And This is back when they used to have a thing called Kitty Matinee, and it was at the Waco Theater every Saturday. And a lady named Mary Holiday put it on.
Okay.
And you'd go up and audition, and she'd play piano for you and all that. And so I drugged that guitar up there, and I said, I want to sing. And she said, and play guitar? And I said, yes, ma'am. So I was about probably 7 years old.
Okay.
And I drugged that guitar up there, and tuning never happened. I mean, it was the same way it was when I left, when I got it. And she said, oh, no, said, you can sing, but you got to sing with a piano. So I got to sing with the piano, and then I finally found out about tuning the thing. But it still wasn't playable, so I got a Goya. My dad's boss bought it and gave it to me for Christmas.
Was that an acoustic or
it was
a
an
hollow
acoustic,
body?
yeah,
Okay.
a hollow body, round hole acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And I played that thing for a year or two, and then I wanted electric.
Oh, okay.
Everybody wants electric.
For sure.
So my dad bought me for Christmas a Telecaster.
Oh, wow.
Brand new Telecaster.
Man.
What year was that?
54.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that came
Wow.
out. Yeah, it was that real off-color white looking.
Oh, yeah, I love those. Those were awesome. Yeah, I love those.
And I played that for quite a while. And, I've done this, but I never should have. I traded that guitar in
Oh, man.
on a Stratocaster.
Okay.
I should have kept that guitar.
I hear you for sure. I'm a telly man myself. I love tellies.
And it would have been worth something today.
Oh, for sure. Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And, anyway, I played that Strat for, now just a minute, I'm trying to think. That Strat may be what I was playing on Knox's band.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What
think it
was
was.
that? Was that what kind of Strat was it? I mean, what color was it?
It was a tobacco sunburst.
Oh, I love those too. Do you like the rosewood or the maple? What
It doesn't matter.
what was that?
It doesn't. I mean, the way I play it doesn't matter. As long as it's got frets on it, it's fine. No, it was a maple neck.
Maple. I love those. I love those. I love those.
And I played that. There was a guy in town named Bill Mounts, and that guitar, the frets had worn almost totally out, and I didn't know that you could buy new necks for them.
Oh wow, right. Well, back then, yeah, who would?
Yeah. Anyway, and the frets wore down, and the nut wore down, and
Right.
And anyway, I just kind of put it up and didn't play it. And finally, he asked me. He said, "What are you going to do with that guitar?" And I said, "I don't know, Bill." And he said, "I'll give you a pair of Baylor football tickets for it." And I said, "Okay."
Right.
So I gave it to him, and I think he got it fixed up and sold it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he got it fixed up and sold it. But that's where my Strat went to.
Did you play a stint with Elvis or play with Elvis any?
Way back when he was on the Louisiana Hayride.
What was that?
That was in 58, I guess.
Is it in his rockabilly era or when?
Yeah.
Wow, that was the coolest. I mean, I love all eras.
I mean, it was right when he had come out with that first album.
Okay.
Son.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
What was on that album anyway?
I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember what it was.
But then, they're making a movie about Son right now. I mean, not a movie, excuse me, a TV show.
Yeah.
But anyway, a lot of
Sun
great
Records.
artists. Yeah.
Sun Records.
Yeah, a lot of. Of
Sun
course,
Records,
everybody
yeah.
knows all the greats that came out of there. But was he like on his way up to being there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was not a home commodity yet. I mean, he had.
Oh, that's all right, Mama. That's
Yes. That's all right, Mama.
Did-
That's
did-
right. That's
did you know-
exactly what it was.
Did you know when you first saw him, like this dude's something else?
Yeah, and I didn't like what I saw.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
But anyway,
Was it too rowdy or what was it?
yeah, well, I mean, the way he would dance
Oh,
around
I
and
got
all
you, I
that
got
bunch
you.
of stuff, I
Elvis
thought,
Pelvis.
yeah, this
Elvis
guy,
Pelvis.
bunch of crud, you know.
That man had himself a guitar.
But anyway, he turned out to be an all right guy.
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. You know, that was. I mean, what can I say? He was an icon. You know, he
Yeah.
is an icon.
When he went to the service, he was stationed at Fort Hood for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the downbeat band that we were that I was a member of used to play somewhere around Temple,
Okay.
and he'd come sneak through the back door and stand in the
Oh, wow.
background and watch us.
Wow, that's super nuts.
And we tried to get him to come out. He said, "No, I can't do that. I can't."
Well, what was it? Was it like just shy or?
No,
I
no,
think
he just couldn't.
Oh,
mean,
I understand. Oh,
yeah,
that one. Okay.
They wouldn't let him
I understand. Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you.
because I mean it would just blow the whole town.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
When did the honeysuckle rose thing come about?
Oh, that came about in 79.
And I promise you, I did not know till I was willing to school that you were on there. Until I looked one day. I happened to see it like one Saturday or Sundays. Like, there's Mr. Fraizer right there. I had no idea.
Yeah, Honeysuckle Rose came about. Johnny Gimble, of course, he was my mentor
Right.
and hero and all that, and he probably introduced me and got me into more good situations than anybody. And he called one day, and he said, "You're going to get a call from Columbia Studios, and they're going to ask you, do you want to be a part of a movie?" And I said, okay. He said, "We're going to film this thing down at Fort, whatever the name of it was. And, you know, if you can make it, just tell them, yeah, I'll be there." Well, I was working for MCI at the time, Bobby Merle and his group down there. And I told my secretary, "I'm going to be getting a call from Columbia Studios here." Yeah. And so in about half hour, she came into my office, eyes kind of looking like this, and she said, "You've got a call from Columbia." And I said, "Well, put them through." So she put them through, and I said, "Yeah, I can make it." So I said when, where, you know,
Right,
all that
right.
kind of stuff. And they said, "Well, it's going to be about a 3-day thing, so you need to make room for 3 days."
3 days of Willie Nelson would be fun. But anyway.
We spent 9 days
Oh, wow.
Y'all lost track of time.
making the movie. No, it's a funny thing because we were filming this thing at this old hall in, I'm trying to think of the Fort Fisher. No, not Fort something.
Fort
hall.
Parker?
Huh?
Fort
No,
Parker.
it was way out, over close to Austin.
Okay.
Anyway, it was an old dance hall, and they had not, at that time, missed a Saturday night without having a dance.
Oh, right.
So we had to shut everything down and get out of there in time for the
Oh,
other band
I
to
got
come in
you.
and
Right,
set up
right.
and
Okay.
play a dance. But anyway, during the week we had it all to ourselves. I mean, we could do whatever, and we were doing a thing called, it was Cotton Eye Joe, but it was called Jumping Cotton Eye Joe, and we were taking solos, on
Right,
it and
right.
all this bunch of stuff, and anyway, they danced around, and then they'd say, "Break it. We got to go change this." So they'd get up and go outside and build a light tower or something to shine through the.
Well, did y'all jam during that? Or either they were doing that?
Oh
or?
yeah.
I bet y'all just had some. Who all would you like? Of course, I guess Willie jammed with y'all too as well. Or?
No, it was just our band.
Oh, just y'all band.
Yeah.
Okay, just man, I'd love that though.
Yeah. Anyway, so we would get down, and they couldn't shoot after a certain
Right.
time, so we'd be through for the day. So that's the reason that it took us 9 days to shoot
I
that
got
thing.
you. I got you.
Took us 9 days to shoot that.
Whenever y'all were doing situations like that with the, I guess you and Johnny and Dick Gimble, how much of that was improvised?
Well, I'll accept the melody.
Really, that's it. I love that.
I'll accept the melody.
That's the fun part of playing guitar.
And even the Austin City Limits that y'all shot, that was improv.
Yeah, that was improv,
Wow.
except for the melody.
Wow, that's the fun part of playing guitar. That right there. If you know the song well enough to where you can do whatever you want to, that's having fun for me. You know.
Yeah, it's that's when it gets fun.
That's right.
When you can get see, Johnny didn't want you to just stand up there. He,
Right.
if they do something, even if it's wrong,
That's it.
So he wanted you to stretch out. He wanted you to play,
For sure.
and we did. I mean, we jammed everything we could, and then we played a thing with him on the first Thursday of every month down at Austin at this Mexican restaurant.
Right.
And we used to go down there and have more fun. It was an outside patio.
Right.
thing.
Okay.
And we'd go out there and just raise hell and put a brick on
I
it.
love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Let's hear y'all do one. I'll sit down and have y'all guys do it. I'll just if I feel like bringing in some bad notes, I will, but I'll just have y'all guys do it.
All bad notes are welcome.
Right.
Cover up some of ours.
Right.
You want to play some Autumn Leaves?
Oh, might as well.
Yeah. Play it with us.
This is called Awesome Leaves. Let us get our fearless leader over here.
Whatever y'all want to do, I'll follow y'all.
Okay. I'll play some chords and.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Still awesome, Mr. Fraizer. You're still awesome.
Thank you.
Wow.
Who, whenever
Sound
you,
like laughing.
whenever you do listen to music, you know, because I know I rarely listen to music. I just don't. I like writing it, of course. That's when I involve myself in the music when I'm playing it. But whenever you do, who do you listen to?
Well, I still listen to Barney Kessel. I still listen to Tal Farlow, who you've never heard of, to Pat Martino.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, I do know him.
You do
yeah,
know
he's,
him.
He's nuts.
He's a great one. He and I used to have booths right across from each other at NAMM meetings.
Oh yes.
And he was selling a thing called Mind Picks. They were picks that were actually rock and were mined and
Wow.
polished down. And I mean,
Would it
he could take
would
one
it
of those
flake
things.
or would
He
it
could
flake
take
off?
one of
Or?
those things and just play the heck out of it. I could take one and my hands would get sweaty and it'd start turning around.
It seemed like you would get a lot of high end, more of a high end scratch or something. But I don't know.
No, it was polished down to where it was just very, very mellow.
Wow.
Very mellow.
Did you ever meet Chet or Les Paul ever?
Yeah, both of them.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, in fact, I was seated next to Chet at a guitar player breakfast,
Okay. Wow.
and we were sitting there eating a muffin. And I said, "You and I've got a mutual friend." And he said, "Who's that?" And I said, "Johnny Gimble." And he said, "Oh, I like Johnny. He makes me laugh." And Chet, of course, was just as dry as he could
Right.
be. And then I ran into Chet when he was doing the Austin City Limits.
Okay. Well, yes.
Yeah. And he and I got a chance to meet. I had sent him a guitar. We had a guitar that we imported, well, under the Daon name back then, from Japan, and it was a fine guitar.
I remember that. How were you involved with Daon guitars? I remember those guitars.
Well,
My nephew even had a bass, as a matter of fact.
yeah, I was working for MCI,
Okay.
and Bobby Merle was the musical director. I mean, they did two things. They did medical equipment and they did musical equipment. Well, Bobby was the head of the musical part of it,
Okay.
and we got to looking for something. We were building Guitargan.
That's what I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we were building Guitargan, and it was such a cumbersome thing. Nobody could really play it. There was one guy that could really play,
Right.
and anyway, so we started looking around for something to import, and we came up on this Daon thing.
Okay.
And it was at one time called Yamaki.
Okay.
And
And it had like a I guess not like a deer head, but like some kind of like a something like that for an emblem.
yeah.
I remember that.
Anyway, they this kid named Hiro Teradara.
Okay.
He was the Japanese representative for the company. He was the son of the father who produced the guitar.
Okay.
So we started importing them. And they had one called the 78, which was a cedar top with mahogany back and sides. A beautiful guitar and very resonant, just played so
Wow.
well. And so I gave Johnny one and we gave Chet one.
Okay.
And
What do you think?
he played it. He played it on he was so far into this Gretchen Gibson thing
Right. Okay.
that he couldn't really
I understand. You
do
know.
much playing, but he did. He said he played it on a tune,
Wow, that's nuts.
and he said it was great. But he said, I've got all these other hang-ups, and
Right.
I just can't play it all the time. I just
Yeah. They even had acoustics. You know, Now, don't you even own one of those acoustics, or is that Mr. Gimble?
I don't know whether either one of us have one of the
I could
acoustics
have,
anymore.
but I do remember they did make acoustics though.
They made an acoustic electric that that I had for a number of years, and I finally traded it to Jeff Horton.
Okay,
You
sure,
know
I
Horton
do,
Duo?
sure do,
Okay.
sure do.
Traded it to Jeff Horton. Well, I didn't trade it. I gave it to him.
Right.
He said it must be great to own a piece of Americana like that, and I just said, "Hey, take it," you know.
Wow.
And he did, and he came back with a case for me for my guild,
Oh wow, cool.
and it was one of those leather cases. It's great.
Oh, wow.
I've got it in the car, by the way.
Do you still playing? Do you still pick up the steel any, or
I'm just starting back.
really? I remember when you were playing it a while back, and I remember you. There was this, I don't know if it was a story you told me or something like that, but that something like well, you knew someone who like pretty much lost it from trying to master the steel guitar.
Yeah. A guy that was a great fiddle player,
Right.
and I'm trying to remember his name, and I can't think of his name. I almost had it, but anyway, yeah, he was a fine fiddle player, and finally decided he was going to take up steel,
Right.
and he played steel, but you know, with all those pedals, you've got so many combinations.
Oh geez, I can only imagine.
It'll, you know, it finally got him. Because
Wow.
he was looking for all the different things he could do with that thing, and it just drove him.
Could it be someone
His
that
name was Merle David.
is it just somebody that I'm sure if he was probably an exceptional musician probably.
Oh, he was.
And could that, you know, could it be like almost like well, I don't know if the word OCD is, but musicians that really want to master something can, you know, they're like above your average musicians. They're always thinking about that task.
Oh yeah.
You know, anyway. But who knows what? But that goes and tells you how intricate it is to play steel. But the what's the word I'm trying to say? But the instant gratification you get from hearing it. That's one of the most beautiful instruments ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a human voice.
Man.
Yeah. It has a lot of the characteristics of the human voice, and I'm doing the jazz thing. I'm using a C6 tuning, which a friend of mine
That's what I was going to ask you if you
gave
did
me.
that.
Yeah, out in L.A. His name is John Kernick, and he's been a friend of mine ever since back in the 1980s.
Okay.
Yeah, I took the Guitargan out to show it to Tommy Tedesco to see if I could get him to play it. And you don't know who Tommy Tedesco is.
No, I do not.
Tommy Tedesco was the most recorded guitar player in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, he played steel string, he played electric, but he was most known for playing classical with a pick.
Okay, wow. No one does that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was,
like almost a
he
no-no.
was great at that, and he was the studio musician in L.A. I mean, you probably didn't hear anything come out as far as music, like movie themes.
Oh, I
and
understand.
things
I understand.
Like that. He recorded most of those.
And he could read almost anything, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, you put it in front of him and he just read it.
Never seen it before.
Wow, that's super nuts.
Yeah, I asked him one time. I said, "Tommy, do you ever go get the music in advance so you can sit down?" He said, "No, lose my edge."
What was your first experience in the studio? Was that here in Waco, or was that?
And that brings up another funny thing. I was working with a group named Charlie Adams and the Western All Stars, and this was back in 1954 or 55 probably. And he was a Decca recording artist.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and he had had 2 or 3 decent records.
Okay.
You know, I mean, he wasn't a national star by any means, but he had some good.
For sure. Well, any kind of airplay back then.
Yeah.
You know.
And anyway, he took the band. We all went up to Dallas to a studio up there, and I'll think of the name of it in a minute. It was a real tragic situation. The guy that ran the studio used carbon tetrachloride to clean his machines with,
Right.
you know, and he kept it in a 7-Up bottle.
Okay.
And he also drank 7-Up.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. He reached up and grabbed the wrong bottle and chugged a bunch of it down and
Man, oh man. On the
went
spot.
just like that.
Gosh, man, that's horrendous.
But anyway, the studio was built where the control room was above the studio, and it was about as high as your back wall here with the Stratocaster.
Yes, sir.
It was about that high, and it had a slope.
What was that floor?
Just the way the studio.
Oh,
was
okay,
built.
okay, I can see that.
Yeah, and everybody recorded there. I mean, Lefty Frizzell recorded there. Ray Price recorded.
Was it?
there.
It was no booth, just one single room.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, just one single room. No, you know, if you sang, you sang in that room.
Wow.
And his echo was springs that ran the length of the building.
Wow, that is nuts. I've never heard that.
Yeah, they
Man.
ran the length of the building, and he piped the music into there, and would take it out on a microphone, and that was his echo. And it was
Okay.
the most beautiful thing you've ever heard.
How many mics were you at? The one mic in the center, or how'd you, or the mic?
No, I mean, he'd you know, if he had 3 people singing, he'd have 3 mics, and he'd mic the amps and stuff
Okay.
like that.
How far were your? So you're playing, you're recording the guitar while the drummer was playing ambient track at the same time.
I mean, we recorded live.
What-
I mean,
what-
it was direct to disc. is
What
they
was
call it.
mic? Oh, wow. What was mic placement like for you? What were you using?
I wasn't using. I mean, he just come down and mic my stuff, and I was using a
I mean, how did he mic the amp?
Just put a mic in front of it.
That's it, just a regular. That's
it.
it.
That's it. Put a mic
Okay.
in front of it. Wouldn't even baffle it.
Just,
Wow.
okay.
And that's why he was with everybody that came in there.
How about the? In other words, the drummer. Did he have like a kick in the overhead? I guess. Or
No, he just put the drummer over,
oh,
way, and
I understand. I see what you're saying.
and he mic'd the drums like one mic over the top.
That's all you needed. That's all you needed.
That's all he would do. Put one mic over the top, and the drummer would play.
Man, oh man.
But it was really, you know, I mean, it was archaic, and we went direct to acetate.
What is that?
That's a big record around that big,
Right.
and you started from the inside, and you recorded out this way.
Wow.
And if you made a mistake, there wasn't any we'll go back and fix it in the mix. It was you start over,
Wow.
and it had
Wow.
to be done right all the way through.
Man, oh man. That's discipline.
How much rehearsing went into the song before y'all recorded it?
We would do some rehearsal, but then we'd go in there and change stuff.
Yeah.
We'd change stuff right there. you know.
Wow, and just man, that's nuts. But you know what? That's what art is. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see it now. It's now. I mean, I love the fact. Don't get me wrong. That when I produce somebody's music, that the editing is so much easier, and this, that, and the other. I have booths in here. I can separate and all that. But I still love the fact of the art of the old recording and how you did it right there and then, just like artists are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not polished. What you're hearing is what you get.
That's it.
Straight
That's
raw.
the best.
Absolutely.
raw.
How about later on when you started started recording with Johnny? Did y'all record here in Waco or?
We recorded a lot of stuff in Dallas.
Okay.
And we'd go to Dallas to that big studio there, in Dallas. I can't even think of the name of that thing. I'm 78 years old.
Right.
And
I'm 46 and I forget a whole bunch myself.
Nothing goes in here or comes out of there much anymore. But there's a big studio in Dallas.
Okay.
That the first album we did it live.
Wow. What was that situation like?
That was live at the Chaparral.
Okay.
And what we did, they mic'd everything.
Okay.
Got everything set up, and we started and we played everything twice.
I got you.
Would stop, start over. So we had 2 chances.
I got you. What was your rig like then?
I was playing. I was playing Standell back then.
Well, I don't think I remember that. I don't remember that.
That was a very, very good amplifier back then.
Okay.
It was the first piggyback.
Oh wow, yes.
Yeah, it was the first piggyback.
That's like something that I thought should have taken off a whole bunch. I love those things.
Yeah.
How about as far as like guitar go? Were you wanting to take something like, since you played like a lot of jazz, were you wanting hollow body, or did you go?
I was playing a Gretsch.
Okay.
Tennessean.
Was that with the Bigsby and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, it had Bixby and everything on it. It wasn't the orange one; it was the dark, kind of maroon color.
Okay. What was your favorite piece of gear that you owned?
Probably this.
I hear you. It's beautiful. You make it sound awesome.
Well, thank you.
I remember, at one time, speaking of gear, I remember you had a Telecaster that I believe was made here in Waco. Was it like a green one with MGs in it?
Oh, no. It
was like a Telecaster.
It was a maple top.
Right? That's right.
A guy named Piazza.
That's right.
Pat Piazza made that for me, and it became my synth guitar.
Oh wow, you do. I mean, that's awesome.
I've got the synth pickup in that. So
Okay,
whenever
okay.
I go play synth, then that guitar goes.
The first guy I saw doing that was Julian Jones. Mr.
Uh-huh.
Jones, he used to have the I guess the very first Roland, the G1. I think he had the G1. And anyway, how about as far as gigging? Do you and Gimble still gig anymore? Or is this you doing acoustic at the house? I mean, just by yourself, or?
I am a freelance musician. I go with the first one that calls. Just got the money.
I
Kind
love.
of mercenary.
Yeah.
I love that though.
But it's it's one of those things. If Dick calls me, Dick called me back about a month ago, and he said, "Let's go to wherever." And I said, "When?" And he told me. I said, "Dick, I can't go. I got a gig."
I love it. I love it.
So I mean, it's one of those things that that you just you can't get around. If you've got a gig, you got a gig.
That's right.
And the first one that called you is the one that should have your.
I agree, and I still go by that. You have to.
Yeah.
I'm very same thing too. We've been around playing for a long time, and we always get calls because we're going to learn your music, and if you call me, I'm going to play the gig.
That's it.
That's it. Could you give me some backup music, gentlemen? I want to announce this week's gigs.
Sure.
What do we want to do?
I'll follow you. I'll try to.
Let's do.
I love it. My boys from north of Navasota, they'll be at Wrigley Theater in Fort Worth Friday. You heard that place, Sammy? Wrigley Theater in Fort Worth? My boys north of Navasota, that's Dustin and Chris Gore and Sean, who also studied with you. Sean O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's anyway, and Nathan from Guitar Center. Anyway, they're playing up there in Fort Worth at Wrigley Theater Friday. My boy J.D. Johnson and Christian Baird, a.k.a. Beauty and the Beast, Thursday at Roscoe's Smokehouse in Burleson. Friday, downtown Hall of Fame in Hutto, 8:30. Saturday at Mac Daddy's in Elmont, 8:30 at Saturday. J.D. and Kirsten Baird. Spirits of Mars. That's Gimble. You seen them? They're a good band. Jimbo and Frank XM. They are going to be Saturday at Old Friends, which used to be for old fellas like me, the old runts. Dustin Terrell, my boy. Friday, 17th at End Zone in Whitney. You played there before, haven't you?
Yep.
It looks like it's pretty big, but the stage is very small. Is that what the deal is?
Yeah. You can fit a full band in there.
But it gets packed over there, though.
Yeah.
I think we played outside there for 4th of July, and anyway, it was packed. But when we're done, we saw that place was jam packed. And Saturday, he's going to be at a place called Somewhere Else in Gatesville. 8 o'clock.
That's a nice place too.
It's a nice place. Where is that?
It's
Is that in the back
That's
on 36?
yeah. That's in between Temple and Gatesville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere Else, my boy Dustin Terrell. Next week, also on this podcast, I'm going to have a gentleman by the name of Zach Aaron. You ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Good singer. He sent me a promo, and I dug it. I think Josh Bernard's playing guitar for him, the guy from Waco.
Yeah.
Are you going to be anywhere anytime soon?
Saturday night we're gonna be at Jamie Wade Band's gonna be at the Country Roads in
That's right. You know what? I'm playing guitar. He called me up this morning
Oh, okay.
and asked if I could do it, and it's like, it just so happens I need some cash, so
Yeah.
sure I'll do it.
Heck yeah, man.
I'll do it.
Well,
Mr. Fraizer, where are you going to be anytime soon?
Ann Harder and I are playing a dance at the Lions Den on April Fool's Day.
Okay. I didn't know they were doing anything over there. Is it like a just open to the public or just?
Yeah, it's actually a dance club,
Okay.
but they'll take your money. You can get in.
How about you, Sam? Anywhere anytime soon?
I'm playing in Round Top, Texas on Saturday.
Round Top.
Round Top.
It's close to Austin.
Okay.
Somewhere I've never been there.
With Nolan Pick.
With Nolan Pick.
That's cool. I think I'm playing with Jamie Wade, and I think week after that I'm off, which I don't mind. And I was hoping to be off this weekend. The fights are on this weekend, both Friday and Saturday, but that's what I have a DVR for. But anyway, Mr. Fraizer, I do want to tell you, thank you for doing this. I could talk here all day long. I love it, but I could tell you earlier, you're one of mine, Sammy's guitar heroes, and we still play, and we still go by your book. I tell everybody Mr. Fraizer is my sensei, and he is, and also, but,
Miyagi.
that's right. But also, you're a great person to follow.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, everything I learned on guitar. The most of it comes from Mr. Fraizer. The other half goes to my trial and errors.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been very lucky to have some good students. Now, I've had some bad students,
I hear you.
but I've had some very good students. And a lot of my students have gone on to do some nice things.
Oh, for sure. I ran into Rich Taylor. We're playing some show, and he's in Vegas. But
Right.
he come down at one of our shows and jammed with us, and boy, that dude's nuts.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
And also, I think back in the day, who was it? I'm not playing anymore, but the Troy guy, Troy Van Haven.
Troy Van Haven, right?
He went a long ways, but boy, that was a great guitar player.
Right. He went all the way to where if he couldn't sing harmony, which he said he couldn't, he never has,
Right.
that he was not going to be rehired.
Whatever happened to he was a bass player, but that one fella that's just I've never seen anybody like this gentleman, Dan Amel. Remember that gentleman?
Yeah, I know Dan.
That was a crazy bass player, and I was I was 20 years old, 21 years old, from a small country town, same as Sam, and we just never heard bass players play like that before. And especially he was our age. It was like, how is this possible? But he was an exceptional musician.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Dan went to work for Circus Olay.
That's what I heard. I heard that.
Yeah, he was. Now I think he's back, and I think he's living up in Michigan somewhere.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I think my daughter still keeps tabs on him every now and then.
Now, his father he was also a musician.
Yeah, his father was a radio announcer. I mean, was a TV announcer.
I remember that. I remember that.
And yeah, he played piano.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
And he was in my improv. Were you in the same improv theory class?
No, not with him. But I do remember leaving one class and he would be walking down the halls like, "There's the guy from the news."
Yeah. Yeah, he took my improv theory class.
Okay.
And scared to death.
Why is that?
I mean, he played well, but he was just afraid, just really scared.
Oh, just to cut loose, I guess.
Yeah.
Or?
He's now driving a truck.
Okay.
Yeah, he's now driving. He had a little alcohol problem.
Okay.
Yeah, he almost fell off the stool one night.
Oh, jeez.
Doing the news.
Right. Oh
And,
boy.
And his wife was just a beautiful person, and she worked for Word Records.
Yeah, I remember Word Records.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was a real deal. That
was big.
That was legit because I think Councilman had his hand in, of course, producing Amy Grant.
Oh yeah.
That was. Did you ever do any work for Word?
Yeah, sure. When Kurt Kaiser was there, I did some work. I did some reading guitar.
Okay.
Because I mean, you didn't just go play. You read your part.
I got you.
That's what I did on those things. I just went and read a part.
And as far as like whenever it was out, was that like the time whenever like Amy Grant was around and not whenever you were playing?
I never did work with her.
Okay. But I know that was a big deal for Waco, Amy Grant, because I grew up in church, so that was the person at the time.
Oh yeah, she I guess is she still alive?
She is. She's married to Vince Gill.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's married to Vince Gill, which is another great guitar player.
Yeah, she used to do all the religious stuff. She did
That's right.
A lot of spiritual type.
That's right. Yeah. How about Mr. Hibbert? Do you ever keep up with him anymore?
He's still in Chicago, I guess.
Is that where he was from?
Yeah, he was actually from New York. He was from
oh, really?
Yeah, Bennington or somewhere up in New York. And then his daughter went to Michigan to study voice, and he moved to Chicago because it wasn't too far from her. And then he had a stroke.
Oh, did not know that.
Had a stroke, and he couldn't play for a long time.
Oh,
and
man.
I understand he's getting it back.
Well, that's awesome. Were you there when the whole MCC Performing Arts started?
Yeah. I was on the committee that was the steering committee on that thing.
That is, I wanted to talk to you about that. How did that come about? Because that is, excuse me, I drank too much water. But that school right there, man, is one of the best schools, it's here in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, everybody knows in music, North Texas State or MCC, and MCC was always up there. I mean, so many musicians come through that place. How did it come about to get that thing going?
Bill Haskett and I have been friends for a long time. He used to book jobs, and I would play guitar.
Right.
And he finally asked me one day, he said, if I got a commercial music program going, would you teach? And I said, Bill, I don't want to teach. I'm a player. I don't want to teach. And so he said, okay, that's fine. So we had the steering committee. It was Johnny Gimble, myself, the secretary of the union, John Vanston, I'm not sure who else was on that steering committee. But anyway, we put that thing together.
And did you know? Did you have in mind who ought to call, or are y'all just playing it by ear, or reading it, interviewing, or?
Well, actually, I was the first one hired,
Okay.
and Dick Gimble was the second hired.
And see, he's also from. I mean, I don't know a lot. I know, of course, I know him from school, but born and raised here in Waco, Texas.
Well, he was born in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
He came to Waco when his dad came to Waco
Okay.
to take over the TV show, The Home Folks Show.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes, and that was, I'm trying to remember, 55.
Is that, I guess, music background? Is that what that was?
Yeah. No, The Home Folks Show?
Yes, sir.
It was a 30-minute TV show.
Okay.
And he had all kind of guests. He had Elvis Presley as a guest.
Wow, almost like Johnny Carson, kind of, sort of.
It was a playing thing, though.
Oh,
they
wow.
They played. You
That
know?
is nuts.
Yeah. And anyway, a guy named Thomason, Jimmy Thomason, came
Okay.
down here and started that thing and brought Johnny with him. And Thomason got down here and he figured out that he couldn't stay, so he went back to Dallas, and so Johnny just took over.
Okay.
And he kept that show going for, God, 6-7 years.
Really? I had no idea. And that's all here in Waco. I love that.
Yeah, that
I
was
love
all
that.
right here in Waco.
So you were the first one hired, and how they start going from there?
I was hired, Dick was hired
Okay.
on the same day.
Okay.
Okay? And then the next year, we hired Rob.
Oh wow. Okay. So
No, I take that back. Dick, Rob, and I were the first ones.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, all three of us were hired at the
Okay.
same time. Then they hired piano player
Howard.
Bill Howard. Yeah,
Howard.
yeah, Bill Howard. And he was supposed to be our composer. type
Okay. Okay.
guy, yeah. And then later on down the road, they hired Beth Ullman as the vocal.
Sure. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Sure.
And she's still teaching there and still going strong.
Most faculty are. I mean, I just because other ones you mentioned were there when I was there, and when I come back to visit every now and then, they were still there.
Well, you know, it's very unusual to find a school that can retain teachers like this school can.
Right.
And it's all because of the close knit, how close knit the faculty.
That's right. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I mean, we all ran together and we drank beer together.
That's
and
right.
We,
For
you
sure.
know, we played together. We did all the stuff together.
That's right.
And Julian Jones and
Oh yeah, you just had those awesome jam sessions. Where was that place at the Hilton, right?
yeah.
I remember that. I went to a couple of them. Remember those, Sammy?
Yeah, yeah.
And boy, that was just something else to see the faculty. You know, man. To me, just, you know, all the gentlemen that I look up to, that was something else.
Well, you know, we had fun as a faculty, and that's what kept us together. We had a lot of fun as a faculty, and we worked like mad to keep everything together.
Well, man, I thank you very much for that, because you know, if Waco only knew what you and Mr. Gimble and Mr. Page and all of you contributed as far as music, you know, you're the reason. You guys are the reasons. Well, why we're able to have jobs and do it well. So, let's do one more and
Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
glad to see that it's working.
You know, and also I need to talk to you about getting one more of those books. Where can I find one? Are they still at
I've got
school?
'em. I've got 'em.
Really?
Yeah.
Sammy, I'm gonna give you some cash and to
That's
get me
the
one.
only place you can get them is from me.
I will get me one. I'm gonna have you one by next week. I promise you.
There you go.
That is one of my favorite books of all time. Okay, bro. You
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Chris,
you,
my
man.
boy, the cameraman today, helping me out. I appreciate it, bro. You said you're gonna be where? Saturday Country Roads. I'll be there with you, bro. I'll be the guy hitting the bad notes.
Well, real quick before we wrap up, in 2011, they inducted you into the Texas Swing Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's I forgot about that.
And for people that don't know, I mean, Eldon Shamlin's in there, Johnny Gimble's in there, Tommy Allsup, and what? Tell us, just briefly, what led up to that, and what was that like to see that? I mean, you're there.
There was a lady named Pat Jasper, and she was the Texas Music Roots facilitator.
Okay.
I mean, she was the one that had that whole program. She was the one that actually got Johnny into that endowments for the arts thing.
Okay.
But anyway, she mentioned it to the guy who does that, who's from Austin. He's an accountant, and I can't think of his name. But anyway, he called me and he said, we want to induct you into the Country Music Hall, the Western Swing Hall of Fame is what it is.
Wow, that's even
the Western.
as a
yeah,
musician,
Western
that's
Swing.
even super nuts because that's just the most craziest music to play. Is that?
Anyway, so I went to San Marcos,
Mm-hmm.
and on the courthouse lawn, I was anointed.
Wow.
Wow, that is awesome.
Wow.
That is super nuts.
It's got a lot of good people in it. It
Man.
really has. Got a good. It's got Bill Glass. It's got Herbie Remington, steel guitar player.
Oh wow.
It's got me. Trying to think who else was inducted. A bunch of songwriter, singer type people.
Okay.
Is that like one of your highest moments in as far as like musically?
Yeah, I think it would have. It would be close up there.
What would be a nice second?
Well, when we all went to Washington and met the Clintons.
Wow,
and,
that's nuts.
and performed for the
In the White House?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Wow.
amazing. That's for sure. That is amazing. Wow. And
so-
that's here in Waco, Texas.
yeah, and
Somebody
Hillary,
from Waco.
Hillary came up and shook Johnny's hand, and Johnny said, "Tell your husband I'll meet him at the McDonald's in about 30 minutes." And she said, "Well, he'll be there."
But I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing this. Like I said, I know you're a busy gentleman, and Sammy tells me that you're still teaching to this day. That is awesome that you're doing that. Still giving back. And not to mention, I know you. If there were ever a guitar player like that, is a true guitar player, that is you, my friend. You're living it
Yes,
still, and I hope to be just like you. What can I say?
Well, just pass it forward.
Yes,
That's all
sir.
you do. Just pass
I
it.
do. I promise. I haven't taught in a while, but everything I teach, it all goes back to that red book. It all goes back, And when I do, I promise you, all of my students, they wind up playing guitar and loving it. They wind up, and that's the thing, to once you're teaching somebody how to play guitar, and once you see like not only they're loving it. They're on stage too. You had something to do with it. You did the same thing for us. You give back to Waco. So thank you very much.
There's a guy that's moved into town from New York City. His name is Chuck Jennings,
Okay.
and he played in L.A. and Boston and New York. He was in New York for about 16 years playing
Right.
up there.
Yes, sir.
You ought to get him in here. He's got a lot of.
Is
good
he
stories.
close? He's right here.
Yeah, lives in Waco.
Jeez Louise, I will talk to you about that. That would be awesome. I'd like to get him here
Yeah,
for
his
sure.
name is Chuck Jennings.
Chuck
In
Jennings.
fact, he's teaching over at Guitar. What is it?
Guitar Center?
Guitar Center. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I go there all the time to go buy strings. I can't
Yeah,
afford
just
guitars,
ask-
so I buy
just ask for
strings.
Chuck Jennings. Yeah, we have a jam session over at the house every Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Oh man,
And we
that's
jam
awesome.
for 2 hours.
That's what I'm talking about. And I don't even get to do that. So, geez Louise, I love that. I
Yeah,
love it.
he is a heck of a guitar player.
Wow.
He is as good a guitar player as I think I've ever heard.
Wow. I can't wait to meet this gentleman.
He's fabulous.
Have I'm sure you've written some pieces. Are there any pieces that you've written that you still play?
I have never written anything.
Oh, really? I thought you were
Never-
probably written
Never
something.
written anything. People ask me, well, play one of your own pieces, and I say, well, I'd have to borrow one from somebody else, but
Right. Chris, you want to come in here, Chris?
What?
Would you say you want to come in here or what?
Oh, well, no, I was fixing to leave. I forgot he parked behind me.
Okay, we're gonna do one real quick, bro. I guess we gotta let Chris out. So, want to jam one out?
Sure.
what are we gonna do?
Whatever you want to do, Mr. Gimble. I'm Mr. Fraizer.
Huh?
Satin Dollar?
Satin Dollar's fine.
Cool.
You got the melody?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That is what's up. I love it. Thank you, Mr. Fraizer, dude. Thank you, Sammy Kalunga.
Thank you.
And anyway, we're gonna have next week. We're gonna have a gentleman is Zach Aaron. He's a singer-songwriter. I'm not sure, not from Waco, but a very good. And be sure to like and share. Catch you next week.